You know, one of the things that makes it really hard for people to switch to a plant-based diet is that they're set in their ways about how they eat. So it's often makes it a lot easier if you can show them how to make things that they're familiar with, familiar comfort foods, or maybe they're a foodie and they really like high-end gourmet foods. I really try to cover the entire gamut, from the comfort, the easy things to make like mac and cheese, to high-end dishes that you might find at a French restaurant. Well, it's really an exciting period in time because people are now discovering that it's fun to get in the kitchen, get your hands dirty, and make things from scratch. So there's a big DIY movement going on in the regular world, and in the vegan world as well. People are sort of catching on. I think in the vegan world, we were really, really hooked to processed vegan foods for a while because it was so exciting when they started coming onto the marketplace. But now we're discovering that we can actually get into the kitchen and make a lot of these things ourselves. There's also a lot of items that aren't available in a vegan version, such as fish sauce or Worcestershire sauce, or et cetera. It's really easy, actually, to get in your kitchen, make these things from scratch, use very few ingredients, save a lot of money, and save your own health. I think people are moving away from processed foods. There is growing awareness about the health benefits of a whole foods plant-based diet. So even if you come upon veganism through the animal welfare or animal rights angle or the environmental aspects of veganism, eventually you get to a point where you don't feel so good eating a lot of triple-decker donut sandwiches. And you want to eat more of a whole foods plant-based diet. So everyone eventually gets to that point, I think, especially the older you get, you just don't feel good eating foods that are high in oils or sugar or whatnot, and you start to crave healthful vegetables and grains and legumes. Also, if you exercise or work out, the healthier you become, the more healthfully you want to eat. I think people do want healthier foods, but our taste buds are also trained to like certain flavors, whether it's salt or fat or sugar or whatever. And so if you can make these foods that have those attributes in your own kitchen without those bad ingredients, then it's a win-win for not only your own health, but for the animals as well, too. So I try to spend a lot of my time now coming up with recipes that focus on more of a whole foods plant-based diet, but that don't that cheat your taste buds into thinking that you're getting all of those things and you're not. And I think I think people react really, really well to it. At my classes, where I go and speak, for example, one of my really easy recipes in my latest book is how to make your own ketchup. A lot of ketchup on the market is laden with high fructose corn syrup, and it's also really high in sodium. But you can make that in your own kitchen in about 30 seconds, and you can use any sweetener you like, whether it's sugar or maple syrup or even date paste, to make it really whole foods plant-based. And you can put your own personal spin on it by adding, extra spices or whatever. So when you learn how to conquer things that you would never even think of making from scratch, things that you would normally only buy at a store, whether it's mayonnaise or mustard or ketchup, and you realize how easy it is to master those in your own kitchen, then there's really no looking back. Initially, I became vegan about 30 years ago, and I was a vegetarian at the time that liked to indulge in very, very rich food, predominantly French cuisine. I was totally enamored with French food, and I ate at every French restaurant I could find. I was in Tokyo at the time, and in Tokyo they have more Michelin-starred restaurants than all of France. So you can imagine, I was just crazy there. I just ate the richest food. Every dish I created that I thought was worthy of serving to anyone was laden with butter and oil and heavy cream and cheese. And I got to a point where I didn't feel very good. I was having a lot of stomach problems. So I decided I would try going vegan for a while. So I was already vegetarian. And when I did, about a few months later, my stomach problems all disappeared. So that was the real impetus. But at the time, I didn't understand the suffering that dairy cows went through. So, I saw no reason to give up dairy for any other, for animal welfare reasons at all. It took me a number of years before I got there.